Today, we will be exploring our mobility in the hips and flexibility in the spine through a warm-up and a sequence that you will be repeating multiple times. Let's start in child's pose. Here, let's pay attention to the breath. Take deep inhales and exhales through the nose. Allow the body to relax and ground first. Set your intention for today's practice. Maybe you can allow yourself to explore without judgment on any outcome or habits. And whenever you're ready, let's come up to thunderbolt pose with the spine over the toes. We'll warm up the hips and quads by thrusting the hips forward to a kneeling position and then back to Vajrasana or thunderbolt pose 5 times. Leading with the hips, allow the glutes to squeeze as you come forward. 2 and 1. Slowly tilt back and allow the hands to guide you. We'll take a stretch on the tops of our feet for a couple of breaths. Since we'll be doing a lot of footwork for today's practice, it's important to warm up the feet. Release, and let's come up to a kneeling pose again, and then with control, shift back, press the heels, and find your Utkatasana or chair pose. Testing your balance, we'll do this transition in and out of chair for 5 more times. This will warm up the quads and help improve our balance. 5, up to chair, and shifting forward, squeezing the glutes as you come forward. 4, and feel the press on the balls of the feet as you shift forward. 3, and the press of the heels against the mat as you lift to your chair. 2, 1 last. 1, elevating the shoulders in chair and shifting forward. Back to a kneeling posture, we'll do a few drills on the shoulders. Raise the arms, elevate the shoulders. Let's bring the arms forward and back for 10 times. Keeping the torso and core tight with minimal movements here, really isolating those pulses on the arms and shoulders. Arms towards the sides, same pulses for 10 times. Core is tight. And once done, this time towards the sides of the hips, 10 times once again. Back to the sides of the shoulders for 10. Keeping ourselves firm, focused, and strong. Then overhead once again. Release the hands. Let's find our windshield wipers. So as you turn to your preferred side, see if you can bring both knees close to the mat, 90 degrees with each other. And completely facing the side, notice the inner and outer sides of the feet touching the mat. And as we shift towards the other side, notice if you are able to balance on the knees and the feet. Observe this as we pivot left and right from the torso and hips. Option to keep the hands lifted or guiding the knees. We'll do this for 5 times per side. So you may also feel a stretch in the legs here and a bit of balancing work. Allowing the hips to open, allowing the core to feel tight. It's okay if the knees are not in 90 degrees completely, just do what works for you. We'll do another set, but for this round, we'll be adding a back bend. So as you face the right side, plant the right hand close to the butt and lift the hips forward and up. Allow the other hand to guide the nape or extend towards the back. So in this variation, notice the press of the knees and the feet as you lift. 5 times on each side once again. Allowing the planted arm to push against the floor, shoulders are depressed and protracted. You can add a squeeze in the glutes to prevent any discomfort on the lower back. For 3, lifting up and forward. Allowing the outsides and inner sides of the feet to balance. 2, same goes for the knees. As you face to the right, notice the press of the outer edge of the right knee and the inner edge of the left knee. and 1. And release. Once done, you will take a straddle split to release tension in the hips and this time engage the legs. So let's spread the legs. No need to take them 180 degrees and take a forward fold. To add the leg engagement, flex the feet and squeeze the quads. So this is a strong fold and leg engagement more than a restorative posture. Breathing in and out through the nose. Slowly lift up. Find your standing wide-legged forward fold. You'll practice some awareness and weight shifting in the feet. So in this fold, let's bring the feet parallel, toes are slightly inwards, and allow the outer and inner edges of the feet to press on the mat. You may feel a stretch on the ankles here. And then pivot the heels inwards, bend the knees, dip the hips in this modified malasana. So the toes are pointing out, back to wide-legged forward fold. You'll do these transitions for 2 more times. So notice how the weight on the feet changes as you spin the heels in and out. And during the transitions, you may also feel that you are balancing on the balls of the feet. Release and let's find our tabletop position. We'll warm up the front and backs of the torso through 5 sets of cats and cows. So tuck the toes, position the hands, inhaling to cow. And exhaling to cat. Allow the spine and tailbone to articulate as are within range. Let the shoulders and head join and roll with your movement as well. Pressing through with the hands, knees, and toes, serving as a warm-up for our wrists as well. Taking a wider tabletop this time, let's transition to child's with control. If comfortable, you may untuck the toes and press back the butt close to the heels in your child's pose. And you may activate your pose by pressing away and lifting the chest and shoulders. Staying for a few breaths, you may feel a stretch on the side body and armpits here. Press through all fingertips slowly round the spine and shift forward, passing through a round tabletop. Lower the hips, the belly, the chest, and the head to a prone position. With the shoulders and elbows pulled back, gather strength from the upper body to peel back up to cobra, shifting back, passing through tabletop and back to child's. We'll do these transitions for 2 more times. So here we are really stretching the body and strengthening our arms. Maybe you can also pattern your breath, your movement. Inhaling as you shift forward and exhaling as you rest the belly on the mat. Inhaling as you lift and exhaling as you go back to your child's. After the last round, we'll be shifting forward entirely to our prone pose and stay there, activating the extension of our spine. So we'll start with Cobra. Press the tops of the feet of the mat and squeeze the shoulder blades for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release to prone. You lift the arms forward, hips and legs grounded for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. This time we will lift the hands off the mat, squeezing the shoulder blades together for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Preparing for locust pose. Now lifting all limbs, squeezing the glutes, pointing the toes. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lowering both the legs and the arms down. We lift both feet up, knees bent, catch the feet with the hands. You'll stretch the quads here, so allow the chest to lift and the feet to pull the hands back. So no need to lift the knees here yet. Let's focus on the glutes and the upper back engagement first. Breathing in and out for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release the head down. We'll do that again, more actively this time, lifting the knees in bow pose or Dhanurasana. For 5 breaths, activating the shoulders, the glutes, and the back. The goal here is not a higher lift, but a stronger and sustainable one. Allowing all muscles to engage to relieve the work off the lower back. Slowly release, plant the hands where you would for cobra. Keep the right foot up. Let the right foot lead you towards the left side as you peel yourself off the mat with your hands and find a seat like so. Back to center. We'll do that for the left side. So switching legs, peeling yourself towards the right side of the mat this time, leading to a seat. We'll explore this transition for 4 more times. So feel free to go on your own pace. Let the feet, hips, and hands guide you. And find control in lifting and lowering the body. Feeling a stretch on the side body here as well. And once done, release. Let's take a break in our prone pose. Releasing the hands, forehead or cheek on the mat. Catching the breath. Slowly plant the hands, tuck the toes. Take your downward facing dog. Let the fingers spread wide here. Press with the base of the wrists and the knuckles. Elevate the shoulders. Sending the tailbone towards the sky. When you're ready, let's take our 3-legged dog on the right side, finding lift up and back, keeping the hips level for 3 breaths. You may flex the toes here. Imagine that you're being pulled up from the heels. Going to hip joint mandala, point the toes, lift the right knee and orient the body towards the right side. Back to 3-legged dog, we will shift forward. So lift the left heel up, pointing the right toes, bend the right knee and round the spine, finding space as you shift forward, knee to chest or nose. Back to 3-legged dog as you inhale. Exhale, knee to the right tricep. Inhale to 3-legged dog. Exhaling, knee to left elbow or left tricep. So we'll do 2 more rounds of that. Focusing not so much on the shifting forward, but on the space you're creating and allowing for yourself. So maybe allow your body to articulate the movement, then on focusing on bringing the knee towards the nose or the triceps. Three-legged dog and back to our downward facing dog. This time, let's try it on the left side. Feel free to adjust your stance before you start. Three-legged dog on the left side for 3 breaths as well. Leveling the hips, strong shoulders, tight core. Let's point the toes, go to our hip joint mandala, this time facing the left side. Left toes close to the butt. Three-legged dog, and this time you will be shifting forward. Inhaling here, exhaling, knee to nose around the spine, creating space. Inhaling, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to left tricep. Three-legged dog, knee to left elbow or left tricep. Repeating for 2 more times. Taking your time, pointing the toes, sending your energy forward and up. One last round. Three-legged dog and slowly release. Let's catch the breath in child's pose and tuck the toes, resting the hands. If there are any other poses you'd like to do to reset, feel free to take them. To give ourselves a couple of breaths to rest and recalibrate. From this point, we'll be doing the main sequence 3 times. We'll start at a slower pace, but feel free to breathe at your own rhythm or own pace. So let's start in downward facing dog. Three-legged dog on the right side, sending the energy up, pointing the toes. Breathing in and out. Shifting forward, knee to nose, holding it there, but not holding the breath. And from here, we'll be kicking through, so spin the left heel inwards and kick the right foot through. We are now facing the long edge of the mat, balancing the right arm and left leg. Let's lower the outer edge of the right foot and lift the hips up, fallen triangle. You may allow the left arm to lengthen backwards, squeeze the glutes, extend the spine. Slowly lower down to kick through once again, holding it here. Option to lift the foot or keep it rooted. Knee to nose. Take your time in your transitions. Of course, breathing in and out, three-legged dog. Giving yourself space to move and breathe. Flipping to our wild thing. So to make it more accessible, slightly shift forward. Cross the right foot behind the left, bend the knees. Step with the outer edge of the left foot and lift the right arm overhead. Recover up to a back bend. Left arm is long, squeeze the glutes, send the hips up. It's flipping back to our knee to nose. Three-legged dog. Shifting forward, this time knee to the right tricep, holding it here, magnetizing the knee with the armpit. And slowly step the right foot outside of the right hand in lizard pose. Pulling the left foot back, pushing and charging forward. Let's spin the left heel in and the right heel out for side lunge, facing the long edge of the mat. Hands anywhere, can be in prayer. Then let's push the arms out as we lower the butt slowly. And plant the left hand behind you, lifting the hips to warrior's bridge, recovering to a back bend. Pointing the left toes, pressing the outer edge of the left foot. Strong arms. Lower back down to side lunge. Option to keep the hips grounded or floating, depending on what's accessible for you. Shifting towards the center to goddess pose. So we are opening the hips here, knees are bent, legs are pointing and facing at an angle. Spine is strong and neutral. Continue shifting all the way to the left for another side lunge. This time the left knee is bent, right toes pointing towards the sky. Let's face the back of the mat, plant the hand in runner's lunge, framing the feet, gazing forward. Let's sweep the left leg back to down dog. So that is the full sequence on one side. This time we'll do it on the left. Preparing for our three-legged dog, catch the breath. Let's lift the left leg up in three-legged dog. Strong shoulders. Strong legs, point the toes, shifting forward, knee to nose. Holding the pose, but not the breath. And preparing for our kick through. So let's spin the right heel in and kick the left foot through, balancing this time on the left hand and the right foot. Root the outer edge of the left foot as we sweep up and lift the hips up to our fallen triangle. Creating a back bend here. Squeezing the glutes, slowly lower down back to our kick through. Plant the hands back to our knee to nose. Shift back, take your three-legged dog. And the next pose here is our wild thing. So we're flipping towards the right side this time. Allow the body to shift forward. Bend the knees before you flip to make it accessible for the spine. Notice the left heel steps and the right heel drops. The outer edge of the right foot steps for balance. Allow the left arm to unfurl when comfortable and extend overhead. Squeeze the glutes. Slowly roll back to knee to nose. So now we're balancing on the balls of the right foot here. Three-legged dog. Shifting forward, knee to left tricep. Creating space. Maybe you can gaze at the top of the mat, sending your energy forward. Step the left foot outside of the left hand, opening the hips in lizard pose. And let's pivot towards the left side as we take our side lunge. So this time, the left knee is bent, right toes pointing to the sky. Push against an imaginary surface in front of you as you lower the butt. Plant the right hand behind you close to the hips. Sweep the left arm overhead as you send the hips up and arch the back for your warrior's bridge. Maybe you can point the right toes and feel the stepping of the inner and outer edges of the right foot. And slowly release, taking it back to your side lunge. Recover here. We'll shift towards the center in our goddess pose, so really keeping the hips awake here as well as the quads. Finding control in your shift. We'll continue shifting towards the right in a side lunge with control, moving with intention, breathing at your own pace. Rolling to runner's lunge, this time facing the front of the mat once again. And finally, back to our downward facing dog. So feel free to do your vinyasa here, stay in down dog, come to child's, or do any pose you prefer. So that is the complete round for both sides. For the next 2 rounds, we'll be doing the same sequence, but in a faster pace. And once you're in your child's, catch the breath. Anytime you are in a pose or transition, feel free to take your time. Pause, slow, or rewind the video as comfortable for you. Please breathe through the poses and transitions as well, and do not let the pose interrupt your breathing. Doing the transitions in the sequence requires a lot of footwork and awareness of the feet. So maybe for the next round, we pay more attention to the dynamics of the lower body and of course, the breath. Slowly, let's find a way to our downward facing dog. 1 cycle of breath per movement this time. Right side first, 3-legged dog. Knee to nose. Kick through, pivot the left heel, float the foot. Fallen triangle, back bending here. And let's lower down to our kick through, strong right arm. Back to our knee to nose. Let's take the leg back in 3-legged dog. Transitioning to wild thing. Flipping carefully, giving the spine space to twist and flip for your back bend. Knee to nose. 3-legged dog. Knee to right tricep. Finding space. Step the right foot in lizard. Press the back foot. Shifting to your side lunge. Opening the hips. Pushing ourselves backwards. Preparing for warrior's bridge. Plant the hand. Lift the hips in your warrior's bridge. Another back bend. Slowly shift back to your side lunge. Strong legs going to goddess. Shifting all the way to the left to our side lunge. Left knee is bent. Face the back for our runner's lunge. Framing the foot with the hands. Take your downward facing dog. Catching the breath, taking a couple of breaths here. Moving and acting skillfully and with intention. Preparing the left side. Let's take our left leg up in 3-legged dog. Knee to nose, finding space and energy. Kick through. Right hand covers the face. Fallen triangle, sweeping towards the back, arching the back. Back to our kick through. Rolling to knee to nose or knee to chest. Three-legged dog, breathing in and out. Flipping over to the right side with control for your wild thing, allowing the spine to arch and the glutes to engage. Rolling back to our knee to chest or knee to nose. Strong arms here. Three-legged dog, pointing the toes towards the sky. Knee to the left tricep. Gazing forward, step that foot outside the left hand. Take your side lunge. Pushing back. Take your warrior's bridge. And slowly lower down back to side lunge, Skandasana. Shift to center in your goddess or Vinyasa. Opening the hips, shifting all the way to the right, Skandasana on the right side, right knee is bent. Frame the feet, take your low lunge or runner's lunge. And downward facing dog. Back to our child's pose or your own restorative posture. The last round is faster and may require a bit of memory. You may inhale in a pose and exhale for the next, but don't let this override your own rhythm. This is merely a suggestion. And as you move, please come from a place of understanding and patience. You already have it in you. You can find the possibilities without attaching yourselves to any outcome. Slowly, let's gather ourselves for down dog. One last round for each side. Let's start. Three-legged dog. Shift forward, knee to nose. Pivot the heel, kick through. Fallen triangle, lifting the hips, arching the spine. Kick through, adjust the feet, find your knee to nose. Three-legged dog. Do your wild thing, balancing on the left hand and the feet, reaching backwards. Back to knee to nose. Three-legged dog. Knee to the right tricep, find space and height. Step forward, lizard. Side lunge, opening the hips here. Pushing backwards. Warrior's bridge, reaching the arms backward. Strong left arm, back to side lunge, strong legs. Shifting all the way to the right, skipping your Vinyasa, smooth transition to side lunge. Frame the hands, take your runner's lunge, facing the back, downward facing dog. Left side this time, three-legged dog. Knee to nose, rounding the spine. Kick through, thread that left foot. Take your fallen triangle. Back to kick through with the left foot floating. Back to knee to nose, rolling, balancing on the balls of the foot, three-legged dog. Shifting forward and finding your wild thing carefully, flipping, reaching the left arm overhead, knee to nose, rolling over, three-legged dog, reaching up, knee to the left tricep or elbow, stepping the foot, lizard. Skandasana, side lunge. Pushing forward, rolling the tailbone and sweeping the arm back in your warrior's bridge. Lifting the hips. Slowly lower down, recovering to our side lunge. Shifting all the way with control, side lunge to the right. Framing the foot, facing forward in lunge and downward facing dog. Take your child's pose, or once again, any other pose that allows you to rest and breathe properly. Feel free to stay here and maybe go straight to your Shavasana or meditation. if you wish not to do the cool down. Otherwise, whenever you are ready, let's find ourselves to a seated forward fold, Paschimottanasana. We are neutralizing the spine more than allowing it to bend. So relax the arms on the feet, on the shins, on the knees, or beside the thighs or legs. No need to round the spine as we did many backbends today. So take it easy and take your time when counter stretching. Take our butterfly pose. Allow the spine here to lengthen and reach forward. Breathing gently and fluidly. Maybe you can allow the head to relax on your hands, on your feet, or just hang. Gently recover. Let's lower all the way down to the mat, lying down. Extend the legs. Lower the spine. Removing your ponytail or hair tie. Take your time to settle in. Allow yourselves to pay attention and return to the breath. Honoring the body, its space, honoring the current moment. We'll stretch the glutes in supine pigeon or figure 4. Take whatever side you prefer. We can keep the lifted knee pressed forward and the foot flexed to stretch. Maybe we can also pull the knees in closer towards the chest, feeling the stretch on the glutes. Then slowly guide the legs in supine twist. So where the body is twisting, allow the head to face the other way. Maybe you can unfurl the free arm where the eyes are gazing. Taking it very gently here. Patience is your friend. Nothing too intense. Recover back to center. Let's take our supine pigeon on the other side. Feeling the stretch on the glutes on this side. Maybe feeling some relief in the back and hips as well. One side may always feel tighter compared to the other, and that's fine. Our bodies are not symmetrical. There's no need to place the same amount of effort. And slowly take your spinal twist, finding relaxation here. Relax the head, relax the legs, allow the body to release. And slowly shift back to center. Let's hug both knees in, taking in the moment. This is the part where we think about what we could have done better, what we did wrong. So see if you can slowly shift your attention away from these thoughts and back to the breath. Let's take our happy baby. Releasing tension in the hips. Release, one last embrace. Hugging the knees in, thanking yourself for committing for today's practice. And slowly let go. Legs and arms are completely soft. Allow the toes, the balls of the feet, the centers of our feet, the heels, outer and inner edges to completely relax and soften. They did a good job today. from the feet all the way to the hips, from the fingertips all the way to the chest and to the crown of the head. Scan the body, relax and soften. Allow the breath to go back to its regular rhythm. Maybe you can allow the tongue to drop from the roof of the mouth and the lips to part. Allow the cheeks to relax, the eyes and the space between the eyebrows to soften. And once the body is completely relaxed, allow the mind to settle. Allow it to surrender from thoughts, emotions, and sensations. I will leave you here in silence. Feel free to stay for as long as you like. Good day. Namaste.